Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning I was awakened, listened to television, and I saw a bunch of women. I can't remember the host's name. So it's a lady. Used to be on television, news anchor. And she was interviewing a group of women who were going through pain and suffering, women who were just crying because the negative effect of the decision made by a few men that determines how women should receive health care in relationship to a birth. Many of them were crying because they felt they had situations that required them to leave out of their particular state in order to get adequate health care. And I'm sitting there looking at that. These women up there crying. Women, more of them on earth than men. And their importance is just as important as that of men. Takes two to tango, but my. Somebody told when they got to be on the same step. One, then one, and when you're standing side by side, you are one. So I'm saying to the people that are being affected by these decisions, I don't know how you can do it. I do not see how you women can sit up and let these five men who came before the Congress, who came before your representatives and lied. They lied because they said they would not mess with laws such as this. And they went right in and did it. Now, who did they lie to? They lied to you, but how did they lie? They lied to your representatives. Your representatives, those who say they want to make sure they protect you. They went there and listened to these lies. And then they certified these men to go on up and sit in the top seat, in the seat of God of this nation. And when they got the opportunity, they started doing what they said they were not going to do. What they call that? They call it a devil. They call that an unjust God. And your leaders, your spokesmen, your representatives in Washington, the House of Representatives and Senators, they allowed that to happen because these men are still sitting there making decisions when we, the people out here in America, know that they are known bona fide liars. And yet they still have the authority to make decisions. How in the heck can that happen? You can be prosecuted. Your health provider can be prosecuted because of giving you the adequate health care that you need. If you don't want abortions, then find out the true reasons. Find out the true reasons, and you satisfy those reasons so they do not exist. You don't try to punish people. Punishing it says that you're stupid. Punishing says you don't know better, and you not even try to find out. You just gonna try to force people. That's the devil. Yes, my friends, that's the devil. Now look at here. Let me ask you some black people who are listening to me. You have been treated as slaves ever since you've been in this country. They pass a few laws to pretend as if they're giving you some breaks. John Lewis, we're talking about the Voters' Right Act. What if these few people go and make a decision that says, black people, you were slaves in the beginning, that's the way you were intended to be, and you do not have the right to vote, so you shut up. What would you do? Would you go sit up in a corner crying, talking about you don't have any rights, or they are wrong, and look what they're doing? Is that what you would do? Or would you do something? If you would do something, you got to look at these women who are pissed but don't know what to do and help them do. What I'm talking about is justice. We just can't look out for justice for ourselves. We got to look out for justice for everybody. And we do not want any known lying gods sitting in the House of in the House of Representatives, in the United States Senate, or the Supreme Court, or the White House. Now look at Donald Trump, running around telling all kinds of lies, making up stupid stuff, they say, and putting it over the news. The news is spreading that stuff. The newspapers, the TV stations, they tied into what's going on. They make sure they promote one side. And that side usually is that side that promotes what they want, and that's money. The truth has nothing to do with it. Donald Trump wouldn't tell the truth. It'd burn him if he told the truth. But the people are listening to everything he said. Now, if these men were righteous men, why aren't, or why didn't they say anything when cops were killing black people just because of their color? When white people just killing black people because they didn't like them? When white people were treating black people as niggers? White folks didn't have anything to say about that. The church didn't have anything to say about that. It was fine. And when they start getting a little exposed, they try to pretend, hide their hands. But look at here, ladies and gentlemen, I understand. When you hear all of this, because it seems like the whole nation is being, especially those who are running the powers, are straight on as evil as they can get. That stuff that Donald Trump and the Republicans have decided to go for what they call the alternative life. It seems as people in power, all of them getting on board. And it's against the other people who were made by God, just like these here crooks are, just like these thieves are, just like these haters and racists and bigots are. Now, I call them that because that's what they do. I'm not just calling them names. This is results of activity that they've engaged in. And they are against these other people. And these other people are sitting there trying to justify their positions, claiming when these lies come out, and they're trying to say, well, what we are doing. And when these more lies come out, this other side, I'm talking about Democrats now, they try to say, well, our president is doing, look how wonderful he is. Look how the GDP is. Look how the employment is. Look how wages are. Let's look at it. But what they don't realize, or what they fail to realize, is that the people over there is restricting them as well. Because when you talk about, look what the Democrats are saying, Democrats have to understand that out of this came the other side. And people are growing toward the other side every day. Because whatever you're glorying yourselves in is not sufficient enough. And it is not sufficient enough because it does not represent the truth. It does not represent God. See, everybody is entitled to peace and prosperity and freedom and joy and happiness and their dreams being lived. Everybody. And God is prepared to that should happen. And the only thing that causes it not to happen is a few bigots, a few racists, a few haters who want to be God, who are stupid and don't know God and act without God and act as if the liars in the Supreme Court. And they don't do these things. And on the other side, people who sit up and take it, like sitting up crying. That ain't gonna stop nothing. Black folks lose their right to vote. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna cry as well? Or are you gonna go and start acting just like the demons? See, acting just like the demons is what makes it keep going around in circles and circles. It's when you stop acting like a demon. Don't let them force you to act like a demon. They are murderers. They are liars. You are not. You are activators of life. Why? Because you know the truth about life and they don't. We have to start showing it. And we can't start showing it until it's real in our lives. So, is it real? If I have to ask the question, is anybody out there real? There must be no one out there. Because if it's real, it's known. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.